on board. A little bit about our flight today. 2 hours and 33 minutes. It's a quick flight down there. Should be about 5 or 10 minutes early. Weather in Fort Lauderdale, beautiful night tonight. Full moon, about 78 degrees, light winds. Thank you for flying with us. Sit back, relax. We'll talk to you again as we get en route. Exact arrival time. A little more about the trip.
Harbor Town Marina, Fort Lauderdale. This is where we start. As of today, a new job and a new adventure begins. I'm part of the crew that will take the sailing yacht Indigo 3 from Florida, down the Caribbean Sea, through the Panama Canal, then sail across the Pacific to Tahiti. The voyage distance is about 6,000 nautical miles, and it should take 2 months to get there. Indigo 3 is a sailing catamaran that is 67 feet long and 37 feet wide. It was built by Lagoon Catamarans. However, this specific one is a customized sport version with a taller mast, plumbed bows, and an extensive use of carbon fiber to keep it light and rigid. Jean-Claude is the captain. He knows the yacht very well. He and I have already crossed the Atlantic together on board Indigo 3 in 2011. Mark will be part of the crew until Tahiti, and will take command of the boat once we arrive there. He has a lot of sailing experience that will come in handy on such a long voyage. Sterling is the owner of Indigo 3, undertaking his second circumnavigation after 55 years of yacht ownership. I'm the mate, and my second job is to film and document this trip. Before we can get underway, Indigo 3 has to be 110% prepared. Everything on board has to be inspected, renewed, and in full working condition.
Pas des dents, hein?
Don't care how long you go, how long you stay. Hey, good time treatment, bring it home one day. But someday, baby, you ain't gonna trouble for me anymore.
On est en haut du mât, environ 100 pieds, 32 mètres. On peut voir l'océan Atlantique derrière moi.
Just keep on betting, and the dice don't pass.
On va faire un
You
tour
ain't
plus
know,
haut.
darling, you're leaving too fast. But someday, baby, you ain't gonna trouble for me anymore.
Degrés Celsius. On s'enregistre pas le son qu'on va faire.
Voilà.
With just Catamarans in charge of the refit, we all worked hard together to get everything done in time.
Yeah, there's 2 bolt, 2 washer.
Hold up. We're gonna have to pull that hose.
Yeah, you have a British accent and not used to.
Finally, after 3.5 weeks, the yacht is ready for a test drive to calibrate the electronics and make sure everything functions properly. We're all excited to see if the hard work paid off.
He's gonna take pictures of the crash.
If you could give me some of that footage, that would be amazing. Kent from Just Catamarans brought a drone on board to try and obtain some nice aerial footage, but unfortunately forgot to press the record button on the camera before the first flight. Then, on the second flight, he crashed the drone in the ocean and it sank right away with the footage. Something flew off. The sea trial went well, but as expected, we have a few extra things to adjust, including tightening up the stays and the dinghy.
Alors, mesdames et messieurs, ce soir, nous avons un nouvel invité à bord. Il s'appelle Rouleau de 600 pieds. Ça, c'est des amarres. Des amarres méga yacht.
To celebrate the end of our preparation, we invited the shipyard employees for a sunset drink on board. Now, it's time to load up on food and clean the boat. Tomorrow, the voyage begins.
Friday, southeast winds 5 to 10 knots. Seas around 2 feet. Intercoastal waters light sharp. A chance of showers.
I'm gonna check if the water is coming out of the engine.
Southeast
Very important. And you can see the water running out. We're keeping the exhaust cool so we don't catch fire.
The watermakers.
Yeah, man. Tahiti.
Only 25,000 left to go.
Yes!
C'est-à-dire qu'on mette un petit peu, peut-être une cuvette.
Just like a trout, it's only bigger.
What's the chef doing? What's he cooking?
Pasta with smoked salmon and crab.
The first 3 days have been rough. Inconsistent weather and headwinds forced us to use the engine to make way. Since we're already running low on fuel, we'll have to stop and refuel on an island in the Bahamas called Great Inagua. Once anchored in front of the fuel station, we took advantage of the clear water to check the hull and remove some barnacles. The next morning, we entered the sketchy harbor. It was a tight squeeze in, and Jean-Claude had to back into it. The place looked nearly abandoned, including the pumping station.
So, here we are. Great Inagua Principal Refueling Station. Leon has just put in a new hose pipe. Fantastic. I hope it does not leak out before it gets to the nozzle.
We were hoping for a quick pit stop, but the DEA spotted us and searched the boat, delaying us another few hours.
Je suis habitué de faire ça, là. Si quelqu'un veut venir le tenir, là.
J'arrive. Now we're heading south in between Haiti and Cuba. There's no wind at all and the sea is completely still. This gave us the chance to rest and fish before the expected trade winds kick in tomorrow.
Mahi, mahi, mahi!
Nice catch, Mark. Professional.
I didn't do much.
The wind arrived on schedule and we're now on a broad reach cruising at 10 to 12 knots towards Panama. The wind got too strong for the Genoa, so we started rolling it up and somehow the swivel on the furler got jammed. The only possible solution was to go up the mast and try to fix it. Boat movement is amplified at the top of the mast, making it very hard to hold on while working. The problem was not repairable, so we had to roll up the massive sail by hand. We'll have to do with the storm jib until we get to Panama. Luckily, we had a nice 20 to 25 knot wind keeping our speed correct. After 5 days of good sailing, we finally saw the coast of Panama. We entered Bahia Limon, surrounded by lots of big ships.
Je passe derrière le petit ponton.
We docked in Shelter Bay Marina.
Yes, we got 220, but it's only at 60 hertz. Yeah. You okay with that?
After 10 days at sea, it feels good to be in a safe harbor. The marina is very comfortable. With a restaurant, laundry, a pool, and a gym, we definitely enjoyed the week while adjusting and repairing things on the boat. Mark's girlfriend, Lulu, joined us for the rest of the trip. She will be cooking and provide us with the woman's touch missing on board. On our way to shop for food, we got a glimpse of the locks we'll be going through next week. The city of Cologne is a messy industrial city. This is where we'll be loading up on food for the big crossing of the Pacific.
All packed and ready to go.
Jean-Claude finishes the Panama Canal paperwork with the agent. We can now leave the marina to go anchor at the entrance of the canal where we'll pick up the pilot.
Okay.
Putting the fenders in place because we're about to enter the Panama Canal lock. Voilà.
Once the pilot got on board, he guided us through the first locks of the canal and explained to us the procedure to get through safely. The first 3 locks of the canal bring us 85 feet above sea level into Lake Gatun.
Peut-être il faut le rallumer le feu de pompe. Le feu. Marche arrière. C'est bon, c'est bon, c'est bon.
Once we passed the 3 locks, we tied up to a buoy for the night. The pilot left the boat and a new one will join us at 0800 tomorrow. The Panama Canal connects 2 oceans together. Gatun Lake is the inland body of water used to help make that connection. It's also where they obtain the water to fill the 3 canal locks on each side. After a long day, we arrived under the Bridge of Americas, signifying our entrance into the Pacific. We anchored in front of Panama City and stayed there for one day to do some last-minute food shopping, laundry, and more adjustments to the boat. Then we filled up our 2 fuel tanks and 4 extra barrels.
Vos impressions, Alexis, Gary?
We're filling up to the brim everything we've got because we have a long way to go.
Tomorrow we set sails to cross the Pacific Ocean. Here we go, releasing ourselves from the safety of land to travel 3,700 nautical miles to the Marquise Islands, then another 1,000 miles to Tahiti.
Okay, now we are going to 180 and after 220 South Pacific. Welcome.
Manque encore 20 pieds. Es certain que tu vas avoir assez de temps?
Je peux pas le faire fort.
As expected, the first weeks of sailing had inconsistent weather, scattered thunderstorms and headwinds. We had to use the engines most of the time until we got closer to the Galapagos Islands.
Daily mandatory exercise.
Ça y est, il est là. Oh, que c'est beau. Il va.
Là. Énorme. Énorme.
Je capote.
Le vin est où? Ok, le vin.
C'est l'alcoolique, il en veut encore.
Il est bon, hein? Il est balèze, là.
Les couleurs ont changé complètement?
Eh oui.
After about a week at sea, in unstable weather conditions, we passed the equator. Jean-Claude threw a ceremony for us first-timers across the 0 latitude.
1, 2, 3. Champagne, Équateur. Yay! Champagne.
Équateur!
Same. Ici? Vas-y. Vous allez... Oui, attends. Oyez, brave Jean! On the first day of July 2015, aboard the sailing yacht Indigo 3, appeared at the equator at the longitude 95 degrees 07126 west. Indeed, drinking our Equatorian seawater, you are welcome in the southern hemisphere.
Ouais.
Now, drink. One or two. No, you can go! Yay! Cheers! Thank you! Thank you very much and welcome back in the sailor, soup sailor.
Voilà, donc tu as tout ça, de l'eau tremblée, the best of Indigo 3. Congratulations. In the 1st of July 2000. Merci,
The next day, the wind switched direction to southeast. With 3,000 miles to go before the Marquise, we are finally hitting the trade winds that should let us sail all the way across. The days started blending together as we sailed hard. First, it was more of a fast, wet reach with southern winds. Then it gradually turned into an eastern wind with a more comfortable ride and some nice surf down the long Pacific swells. We recorded a peak boat speed of 18 plus knots before taking it down a notch. About 17 days into the crossing, we lost the wind. The ocean became smooth like a mirror, with 700 nautical miles to go. We endured a couple days barely moving forward. No wind. We had no choice but find ways to keep ourselves busy by reading, playing cards, fishing, and even swimming in the deep blue ocean. Then a front came through and brought the wind back. We were once again sailing fast with only a few hundred miles left until land. After 20 days without seeing land, Lulu is the first one to spot one of the Marquise Islands.
We started from Cologne and we crossed the Panama Canal. And then from Balboa, we sailed offshore, first south and then southwest, and headed just north of the archipelago here in Galapagos, and straight on going across the equator right here, south, all the way to the Marquesas here, 3,900 nautical miles. A very, very long trip.
The plan is to do a 24-hour pit stop to reload on fuel and veggies in the main bay of Nuku Hiva Island. We arrived at night, so we woke up the next morning, surrounded by beautiful landscape and the wonderful smell of land and vegetation. Unfortunately, the stop was short and went back out to finish the final leg of the trip. Next stop, Tahiti. Five days of easy sailing later, we arrived at Papeete, Tahiti at sunrise. It was a beautiful sight and we were all happy to reach our main destination.
We made it to a lovely sunrise arrival in paradise. There it is.
To finish off the adventure, we will reload on food and welcome some of Sterling's guests on board to travel the next 2.5 weeks through the neighbor islands of Tahiti. After such a long trip, it's finally good to arrive in paradise.